A few months ago, a bag of Skittles and a can of iced tea were just some items you bought at a store. Hoodies were something you wore when you were cold. Today, they're symbols of something much more. On February 26, Trayvon Martin was walking home from a 7-Eleven with an iced tea and some Skittles when he was spotted by neighborhood watchman George Zimmerman as he entered the gated community where his father lives in Sanford, Florida. Zimmerman called 911 to report a suspicious person. Moments later, Martin was shot dead by Zimmerman. Zimmerman says he shot Martin in self-defense, and police say they could not arrest Zimmerman because of Florida's Stand Your Ground law, which states a person may use deadly force in self-defense when there is a reasonable belief or threat without an obligation to retreat first. In some cases, a person may use deadly force in public areas without duty to retreat. But after this 911 tape was released, some began to question whether it was self-defense or racial profiling.
Hey, we've had some break-ins in my neighborhood, and there's a real suspicious guy. It's Retreat View Circle. It's like he's up to no good, or he's on drugs or something. It's raining, and he's just walking around looking about.
Okay, and this guy, is he white, black, or Hispanic?
He looks black.
After more questioning, the dispatcher told Zimmerman that he did not need to keep following Martin. We don't know what happened between then and the shooting of Martin. The story has sparked national attention. There have been marches and rallies across the country. Even in Chicago, some 1,000 miles away from where the incident occurred, events much like the one at this church tonight have brought people out crying for justice for Trayvon, including some students at DePaul. Members of DePaul's Black Student Union, the BSU, attended a rally at Daley Plaza over spring break.
I think that it's important for us to not only stand up for inequality and injustice, but also just to participate and be active in our fight towards, social equality and stuff. Even as a DePaul Vincentian, it's really important.
BSU President Taylor Moody felt she had to be part of the protest.
There's no way this man was acting in self-defense. He saw him, targeted him, and it was it. That was pretty much it. That is the fact that he saw someone he did not know in his neighborhood that was black and automatically assumed he was doing something wrong and automatically attacked him.
Zimmerman's family and friends deny that he's racist and claim he acted in self-defense.
George was out of breath. He was barely conscious. His last thing he remembers doing was moving his head from the concrete to the grass so that if he was banged one more time, he wouldn't be wearing diapers for the rest of his life and being spoon-fed by his brother. And there would have been George dead had he not acted decisively and instantaneously in that moment when he was being disarmed.
What is clear is that the story has created discussion about race in America.
Racial stereotyping, especially when it comes to African Americans and African American males. I think was at work with Mr. Zimmerman. And I think had that young man not been of African descent, I don't think we'd be having this conversation right now.
I hear all the time in classes and stuff, we're in a colorblind society and we have a black president, so there's no more racism, but this is a clear case of the fact that racism is here and will still be here, and it won't go away if we don't do something.
This incident on its own is not a racial incident. This story is a racial story, and he's right. It has sparked a dialogue that needs to be made because I live with what they're talking about every day. But in this particular instance, when it involves this happening, it was not racially motivated.
The controversy over racial profiling isn't confined to the South. Dr. Lindsay says it's happened to DePaul students in the Lincoln Park neighborhood. He cited a specific case involving a basketball player.
3 policemen stopped him on his way to the apartment and basically asked him, "What are you doing in this neighborhood? Where are you going?" And when he told them he was going home, the policemen did not believe him. They assumed that he lived either on the south side or the west side in a black neighborhood.
What happens next in the case that has America rallying for justice is up to the special prosecutor who's been hired to lead an investigation. It will be up to her to decide whether to charge Zimmerman. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Brittany Lewis.